Welcome to this explainer. I am genuinely excited to guide you through today's material. If you're someone who values structured, highly efficient learning, well, you're in the exact right place. Today, we're breaking down a short but honestly incredibly potent source text, and we're looking at a very targeted concept, cultivating resilience through strategic advisory boards. We aren't just talking about, bouncing back from adversity. We're talking about actively setting up an architecture to ensure you literally can bounce back. Let's map out exactly how the source suggests we do this.
Okay, let's dive into this. How do you actually increase overall resilience? That is the foundational challenge our source text tackles head-on. A lot of times we think of resilience as this purely internal reservoir, right? Just sheer willpower or grit that you either naturally possess or you don't. But this material introduces a massive paradigm shift. It treats resilience as a capacity that can be systematically increased and scaled through external structures. The method for doing that, the strategy to actually move the needle on your personal and professional resilience, is what makes this text so compelling. It completely reframes resilience as an active structural pursuit rather than just a passive psychological trait.
So the solution the source proposes is highly specific, a strategic advisory board. This is a group focused entirely on helping you increase that overall resilience. Notice the precision of the language here. This isn't just a casual networking circle you grab coffee with, and it's definitely not a group of peers you just vent to after a long week. It's a purposefully assembled board with a singular overriding mission. Think of it like a corporate board of directors, but instead of overseeing a company's financial health, they are explicitly tasked with stress testing and fortifying your capacity to handle disruption. So what is the very first operational step? You have to actively build a group of individuals. And I really want to highlight that verb, build. It implies deep intention, effort, and architecture. You don't just stumble into a strategic advisory board by accident, and you certainly don't just inherit one from your current workplace. No way. You have to actively construct this group. You're the architect of your own support system. This means evaluating gaps in your own perspective, looking way past your immediate comfort zone, and proactively searching for the exact right pieces to fit together. It is an exercise in deliberate curation. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact caliber of people you need in this group. You can't just pick anyone. The source is incredibly strict about the criteria for these individuals. First, they absolutely must be action-oriented. Second, they must be completely focused on helping you. When adversity hits, you don't necessarily need endless rumination or passive sympathy, you need decisive momentum. Action is what ultimately drives resilience. And their focus has to be aligned with your growth. If a potential candidate lacks either that bias toward action or the genuine investment in your success, the text is crystal clear. They just do not belong on this specific board. So, the crucial point is we have to remember the ultimate endgame: increasing overall resilience. When you're doing the hard work of assembling this action-oriented team, every single individual selected must serve this primary goal. It's incredibly easy to get distracted by standard networking, career climbing, or, simply surrounding yourself with people who just make you feel comfortable. But the source zeroes us right back in. The sole reason you are building this board is to increase your capacity to withstand and adapt to challenges. That is the one and only metric for success here. And keeping that focus, that's what prevents the board from devolving into just another social club.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the explicit directive it gives us. The source material actually shifts here from providing a theoretical framework to a direct call to action: connect with our advisory board. It moves really smoothly from the conceptual idea of building your own personal board to offering a ready-made group that claims to already embody these exact principles. It's a fascinating pivot, actually. It shows us how organizations use this very framework, the promise of structured, action-oriented resilience, as a service or a core value proposition to attract individuals who are seeking to fortify their own careers.
Which leaves us with a critical question to end our explainer today. Is your current circle truly action-oriented? Based strictly on the rigorous criteria we've just unpacked, I want you to mentally audit the individuals around you right now. Are they merely supportive in a passive way, or are they genuinely geared towards decisive action and explicitly focused on increasing your overall resilience? It's a demanding standard, no doubt about it. But as our text clearly shows, constructing this architecture is the absolutely necessary blueprint for cultivating true, lasting resilience. It's a really powerful framework to think deeply about as you evaluate your own professional and personal networks.